The first step when looking to set up a site using Traffic Equalizer is of course to get a domain name, a unique domain. And what I would suggest is, I found there's no harm at all getting a .info domain, and I personally use Namecheap, namecheap.com. And if you type in, or if you click here, more extensions available, and here you can type in any domain name. So I'm just going to put in some random letters and search all available TLDs. TLDs stands for top level domain. Search all available top level domains. Okay. So let's have a look what it brings back. And I imagine that domain name should be available, because it can't be a name people would want. So it is available, and you can see the different extensions available: .com, .net, .org, .us, and so on. And if I was to click on, or actually just for demonstration purposes, if I click here, I should select them all. And if I scroll down and add to cart, we can have a look at the different prices for different domains. And some are quite expensive, like .ws is almost $30. And of course prices may differ from domain registrar to domain registrar. But I use Namecheap. I find they work well, and they have very competitive prices. As you can see, .tv is over $40. However, what we're interested in is, .info. Since I last purchased .info domain, it seems the prices have gone up a little. They used to be $2.88, and they're now $3.48. So they've gone up, what's that, 60 cents or so? But that's very affordable, and it's cheaper than getting .coms, and it doesn't seem to do any harm. So that's something you may want to consider. And actually, if I open a new tab, I'm going to do these demonstrations in a site I bought called demosite1.info. I got it when .info domains were still $2.88, so under $3 with Namecheap, and there's nothing there at the minute, as you can see, just nothing in the index. But that's where I'm going to build the site for demonstration purposes. So back to Namecheap, what I would suggest, with the Traffic Equalizer you can create a site for any subject matter. So let's say I was looking to create a Traffic Equalizer site about plasma televisions. An important point to remember, people with the Traffic Equalizer sites, your visitors come from the search engines. They don't go to your website, and they don't type in the address of your website. They don't bookmark it. What they do, they always come referred from a search engine, so the name doesn't really matter. So you don't need to get something too memorable. But for example, let's try plasma televisions. I'm betting this is gone. I'd be quite surprised if this is available. And it's taken. And if we scroll down, and most of the other ones are taken as well, like .net, .org, .us is available, .biz, .info, they've all gone. So we could change this a little to, let's add at the start, let's add by dash. Now you don't need to put the dashes, you could just do by plasma televisions. There may be slight benefits to having related keywords. The content of this website would be, for example, plasma televisions. There may be slight benefits to having keywords like plasma television in the domain name and separated by hyphens. That may be worth doing, or on the other hand, you may not wish to wish to use hyphens in this way, it's up to you. But I'm going to try buy plasma televisions with hyphens between the words and search all available top level domains, search, and let's see what it comes back with. Okay, the .com is taken, whereas the .info, which I would generally be interested in because it's the cheapest, is available. And again, the reason I suggest getting the .info is because it is very affordable compared to .coms, and people aren't going to be typing in your domain name, so it doesn't have to be particularly memorable. They're always going to be referred from the search engines. And as far as I've seen, and as far as I know, having a .info instead of a .com doesn't seem to harm your chances in the search engines. You know, things do change constantly when it comes to the search engines. But when I've done this, I've generally used .infos and I haven't seen any problems with this. And as you can see, I use keywords related to keywords to the content of the website in the domain name, either with or without hyphens. And you may perhaps wish to have you may perhaps wish to have a domain with lots of different subject matters, and therefore you would want a more generic domain. For example, search for stuff here. Just for example, you know, that's a generic domain which could cover lots of, a generic domain name which could cover lots of different subject matters. But my advice would be go for niche subjects. Pick one particular niche subject or niche product. Only have your domain about that, in this case plasma TVs, and then have a domain name which is relevant and uses keywords for that niche subject. So that's what I suggest for buying a domain name that you're going to be building traffic equalizer websites on.